One Piece. Finish episode 4. Alright. Now this was one that, like, not that it makes or breaks something, but it definitely, it's getting me in a point of just like, alright, man. Like, with storytelling and stuff. So, halfway through the episode, Luffy went to go mess with the bandits, the mountain bandits, and then they started beating him up. And then Captain Shanks comes, and so the one guy, the one guy puts a gun to Shanks' head. Shanks says, what do you say? That those are for action, not for threats. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then when he's like, phew, like that's how you're supposed to use that. So the dude that pulled a gun out on Shanks like, that's for action. That's not for threat. And then one of Shanks' guys hits him off. Hits the dude who had the gun pointed at Shanks. One of Shanks' guys took him out, just like that. Like that's what's supposed to happen, type of thing, right? Then they was like, oh, these guys don't play fair. This and that. Third, like, it was like, we pirates. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Shanks was on some. What Shanks say? He said, oh yeah, like this is Shanks said, what did Shanks? Shanks said, he was like, yeah, you can throw beer on me, you can throw food at me, spit on me. He's like, you can even spit on me, but if you mess with one of my friends, that's different, type of thing. Like he was like, basically gonna fight for Luffy or whatever. Then, so that happens. Then the next part is like, who does it? Well, then like some of those bandits guys start to charge at them, at Shanks' crew, and one of the guys from Shanks' crew was like, nah, don't worry about it. This is gonna be easy. So it doesn't really show it, but then you see swords go up in the air. So one of the guys takes out most of the bandits that were then charging at him, and then dude is left by himself. The captain or the top bandit guy, he's left by himself. He's still got his foot on Luffy's face, and then he throws a smoke screen. And then there's like, oh no, he got away with Luffy. And then so he gets away, and then from there, what happens? The bandit guy is on a boat with Luffy, and he was like, yeah, kid, I'm done with you. And he's about to, like, I think he actually throws Luffy overboard. So mind you, they said Luffy can't swim after he ate the gum fruit. So I'm not really sure how that whole thing was supposed to play out. Like, so, but I thought he was like immediately gonna just drown in the water or something. But he's like flailing, and then this little I don't say a little monster, but this like dinosaur eel looking monster type of thing comes out the water. It eats the bandit guy, and then it's about to go eat Luffy, but Shanks pops up, and whatever happens, it doesn't really show like no too crazy details or something, but Shanks pops up, and then Shanks is like, consoling Luffy, like, yo, you'll be all right, this and that, boom, boom. Well, he actually looks at whatever that little monster thing that came out the sea that ate the other guy. Shanks is looking at him like, get out of here. Get out of here. Like, and it has like a little stare down with the little monster thing. It does some whatever. But he's consoling like Luffy, and Luffy's like, but you lost your arm. And then so it like zooms out, and Shanks no longer has an arm. Like, but it didn't like show exactly how to. But it was like weird. That happened. So then after that, they go back. Shanks and his crew is going to leave the city or whatever. And Luffy was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask to come with you this time. I'm gonna be my own pirate and da da da. And Shanks was like, yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's not like I would take you with me anyway. And Luffy was like, you know, I'm gonna be the great. I'm gonna be the. Then Luffy has this whole declaration. He was like, I'm gonna be the greatest pirate ever, and my crew's gonna be better than your crew. I'm gonna have a bigger boat and da da da. So he says all that, and then Shanks is like, all right, well, if you're gonna be bigger, badder, greater than us, then here, take this hat. This hat means a lot to me. And he also has, there's another little part where it's like, yeah, bring this hat back to me in good condition. So, episode 4, this is the episode where Luffy gets the hat. This is Shanks' hat. And so, Shanks gives him the hat, and then Luffy, and then his crew leaves. They leave. So apparently they're still alive. Then it cuts to the beginning people. So in the beginning, the reason it went down this whole part of this story about how Luffy got the hat, Luffy was on a boat with Zoro. Whatever happened, knocked his hat off, and had to get the hat, and then that transitioned to the story how he got his hat. But then, so it cuts back to the beginning, like type of thing, and Zoro was like, all right, yeah, man, you better put your hat on or you're gonna lose it again. Luffy's like, yeah. He says that, and then there's a bird. A bird goes across the sky, and like, Luffy's like, oh, there's a bird. Luffy's like, we should eat it. So he was like, how are we gonna do that? Luffy, gum, rocket! So Luffy, gum, rocket! He goes up. But the bird just like has Luffy's head in his mouth. So like the bird is like taking Luffy off. The bird's taking Luffy. Luffy's head is in the bird's mouth, and the bird's just flying. So then Roronoa Zoro is like trying to, you know, paddle the boat to get to Luffy. And then he's trying to paddle the boat to get to Luffy. And then he sees the 3 guys from the beginning of the episode. And they're like, hey, help us, man overboard. He was like, I'm not about to stop for y'all. I gotta get Luffy or whatever. But if y'all hop in the boat, fine. So the 3 guys hop in the boat, and as he's like, I'm surprised you guys made it, you know what I'm saying? And then they're like, we're crew members of Captain Buggy's crew or whatever. We're taking over this boat. Zoro looks at him, he's like, what'd you say? So then next thing you know, they're the ones paddling the boat. And he was like, we didn't know you were the bounty hunter pirate guy. So that happens. Then the girl with the orange red hair, she been here from, we still don't know her name, what she got going on. She was in the beginning. She's the reason that they were overboard. She took their boat. I don't know how she lost her other boat from the first episode. I don't know what, anyway. I don't know how she lost her boat from the first episode. Anyway, she is now, she's running through the city. Running through the city with my woes. She running through the city, and they're chasing her, and she was like, oh, I finally got it. And it was like, oh, she has the map of the Grand Line or whatever. It's the red line, the Grand Line. The Grand Line, I think, is where they got to go anyway to go get this treasure. So from there, it's the Grand Line, the red line, trying to get this treasure or whatever. And then from there, they're chasing her. So she has that. And I think she just took it from Captain Boogie or whatever. Buggy. And he's a clown. He also ate the gum fruit. So anyway, Captain Buggy, well, they see like the bird that's carrying Luffy, and they're like, there's a da, da, da. They pointed out, and then Captain Buggy was like, well, shoot it down. And so they, and then Luffy comes falling in, and it's like, a man just fell out the sky. Who's that? And Luffy was like, I'm glad I'm safe now. He's like, that was the most awesome thing that ever happened to me ever. And this one was not like, I'll just talk about it. Let me just finish it. Well, that's basically the end of the episode. Luffy was like, that's the most exciting, most amazing, best thing that ever happened to me ever. I'm glad I'm safe now. And then they're like, yo, this guy just fought this guy. And so, but this is like right behind the guys. They were chasing the girl with the red hair, orange hair, whatever. And so, yeah, we still don't know her name, what she got going on. What is she doing with this whole stuff? Still don't know nothing about her. So there's that. After that, that's the end of the episode. So this episode is like necessary in a sense that you want to know, like, okay, how did Luffy get his hat? How did Luffy get his hat? When did he eat the gum fruit? Like, it answers that. It answers when he ate it, why he ate it. Like, it's not a deep reason for why he ate it. It's him getting the hat. The guy gave it to him. So apparently, allegedly, maybe that guy is still alive. Shanks is still alive, potentially, maybe. And yeah, I didn't particularly like this episode. It was too like choppy. I don't know. I feel like there's a way to put scenes and things together so that it flows more organically. This was one of the ones that, this is one of the reasons why I did not like certain things. It was like, for me, my terminology for it is, I don't know, it like forces the plot forward. Like, because something has to happen. And so it's like, well, what would happen next and why would it happen? And when things are just there and you're like, why is this happening? What's going on now? It's one of them type of things. This episode had more of that than the previous three. This episode had more of this has to happen just to make the plot and the story move forward. I don't like that. I don't like that, bro. So, yeah, that threw me off. That was throwing me off a lot. It just was from this to this to that, like. The first, like I said earlier, I like the analogy, but the articulation of it, maybe it'll come at a different time, whatever. But if it feels more like a day or a time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what, like, just piecing together what happens. This one just wasn't smooth. And the first three episodes, kind of like, there was much more connectivity, like, oh, now we're looking forward to this. Now we're looking forward to that. No, this is happening. Now, Captain Buggy, his silhouette, they didn't show what he looked like. His silhouette was shown either in episode 3 or episode 2. They already kind of like showed his silhouette without showing who he was. If I had to make a guess, it might have been episode 2 or 3. I don't know. In episode 2 or 3, when the girls took the whatchamacallit, there was that whole, they showed his silhouette. So, yeah. The first 3 episodes, like, going from 1 to 2, like, you saw, like, they hinted at showing Zoro, Roronoa Zoro, or, this, that, and the third. I mean, it ends that way because now you got. I'm assuming at this point we're gonna finally know who the girl is, what her name. For some reason, somehow, like episode one, Luffy saw her. At the end of episode one, Luffy saw her, so he knows. Like he's seen her before. They saw her on. She be everywhere they be at. They saw her at the Marine base. I don't even know why she was there over there. And yeah, Luffy's seen her before, but this time he landed like right behind her or whatever. So hopefully, assumingly, I'm going to assume that Luffy is going to meet the girl finally. Or they're going to finally tell us her name or something, bruh. It's just a little kind of sort of annoying. Because she just be popping up. I don't know what. And she's like well, it's two ways to go about it, right? Because I'm just going to call her a pirate. But it's one of those, if you had a daughter and she was going to be a pirate, like, it's the way that you would kind of want, you wouldn't want her to be no rough, tough, you know what I'm saying, this and the third. I mean, you were going to want her kind of, but you want her to be like a little bit coy, I guess, to see like the way of getting around and through certain things. Like, so she don't be fighting nobody, she don't be doing this and the third, but it's, bruh, she got her own little tactics and schemes. I don't know. But they need to, I don't know her name. I don't know her name. So, there's a couple things here. It's like, what's that thing called, bro? What, foreshadowing? Yeah, like, one way that you keep an audience intrigued is, see, this is what I'm saying. There's an actual word here. It's the building the suspense, or like you see how like I'm like, okay, who else ate the gum fruit? Or, you know, what abilities do they have? And this and that, like, there's a name, there's an actual word. And that's the whole, like, the motivation and whatchamacallit, it gets the people going. That's the one thing that's like if you making whatever, it's the, okay, that's something that people like follow on to, and then like they're trying to figure that out or something. Like, oh man, the fact that I'm not the word, it's like an actual word or a term. It's an actual word or a term. Oh man, shoot, there's a word or a term, but that's what it means. Like, and then the fact that I am like, oh, I gotta figure this out or figure that out. That thing. That thing. That thing. That thing. That thing. There's a name for it. I forget. There's a name for it. Just blocking people like you. That's the only thing going on. I'm just blocking people like you. Fuck out of here. Maybe some of it's uncalled for, but some of it definitely is called for. I'm not thinking too hard about it though. I'm not gonna think too hard about it though. Well, I guess because I don't know. I ain't about to die. I'm not thinking too hard about it. I'm supposed to be talking about One Piece. Oh, it only says one ep4. Let's switch this up. It's supposed to say One Piece ep4. It just says one ep4. Yeah, I've been in that type of like mood space. It's just, man, just go. Oh, the question right there has said gold or silver jewelry. Depends on the outfit. Depends on the fit. Like this, gold will go better because you got the yellow and stuff there. It's not that hard to sit there and whatchamacallit. Gold. I wanted a gold whatchamacallit too. They were like, you can't start with that. You got to start with the silver. Who makes these rules? All right. That's one thing about episode 4. It was a little bit like, who does this? Like, I talked about it in Cowboy Bebop. I talked about in Samurai Champloo. I said they kind of sort of cleaned it up, but then I was like, nah, here it's that same. But I'm also, this episode was prime or peak that, like, if I had to like point it out, like, what the fuck is this? Why does this happen? Why does that, like, those type of moments, like, logically, that just like, all right, bro, yeah, you just throwing stuff in there. Why? Those type of things. But other than that, I don't have, that's just my big complaint about this one. We're on episode 5. All right, we're gonna be on episode 5. Cinque. Episode 5. Cinque. So I really like, but I have my annoyances. Right now I'm a little bit annoyed. I still don't know who this girl is. I don't know her name. Luffy has 2 people. Well, he has 1. It's Luffy and Roronoa Zoro. They don't really be showing the action scenes and stuff, but I'm like, okay. They showing allude to certain things, so I was like, ah. But now we're finally, I think, want to meet somebody. Yeah, because I think the captain guy from the Marine Corps lasted 2 episodes. It was Alvera or something. She was like the first one, like keeping track of like the villains. I should have took a picture, or I should have edited a video for like the Marine guy. He had an interesting jaw. He had the jaw with the big teeth, and he had the little whatever for his hand. Axe for a hand. He had an axe, not a hook. There's a Marine guy. He lasted episode 2 and 3. Episode 4 was this bandit guy, but that's not major. But Captain Buggy, the clown one. Now, I do want to mention and say that I feel like I've seen this one, not seen the episode. But when I was growing up, there was this comic book called Shonen Jump, where there's a manga called Shonen Jump. It was like a collection of all of these. And I don't know what year, I don't know what the year was. And I don't know if it was at Toys R Us. Rest in peace, Toys R Us. I don't know what was going on, but I remember picking up this manga, and then this is where I first saw One Piece. This is where I first saw Naruto. I already knew what Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon was. I didn't see Pokemon in there though, but I don't remember. But I remember seeing Naruto in there. I remember seeing One Piece, and I feel like I had seen Captain Buggy. I feel like this is where I seen Captain Buggy before. I feel like this is where I seen Captain Buggy before. So I kind of already know he kind of sort of looks like, maybe, but yeah. All right, that's episode